It's not over yet. It's absolutely a good result. Everyone loves a day of zeros. But the incubation period is 14 days. There are literally thousands of people who've been potentially exposed to infectious cases. They need to see out their quarantine period. They need to not be complacent if they've got a negative test early on, because as I've said before, most people will be symptomatic, will test positive in the first week, but there are a proportion who might yet develop illness in the latter part of that quarantine period. There might be some people who still haven't checked the exposure sites, who've been exposed and aren't aware, who might be developing symptoms today, tomorrow, the next day. Everyone needs to be aware of that, and everyone needs to test if they've got any symptoms at all.
So presumably in agreeing to lift the lockdown, you're also satisfied that cases in the next few days.
I think so. The 66 close contacts per case is an indication that we've swept really broadly in picking up on those close contacts. No close contact left behind. So anyone who develops symptoms now, who test positive, you'd be very confident that they're already identified, already quarantining. That's not a guarantee. People need to do the right thing, and people do need to check those exposure sites to see if they are at risk.
5 days have bought you time. What do you know about the virus now, the UK strain, that you didn't know beforehand, that'll influence actions next time?
I think it reinforces that the three-ring principle of protection is the right way to go, and it can deal with variants of concern as well. There are circumstances where you need to pull out other tools, a short, sharp lockdown or a circuit breaker. But the contacts of contacts, in addition to the primary close contacts, I think can bring all of that risk under control through test, trace and isolate. If we weren't supremely confident in that process, the Grand Hyatt case, who had community exposures, might have led to a circuit breaker, but we didn't go that way. And that had happened before in other jurisdictions, but we didn't go that way because we did have significant confidence, well-founded confidence in test, trace and isolate. That said, there were specific challenges in the Holiday Inn outbreak with 2 residents, 4 staff essentially exposed, infected on the same day, and a social event that was not on our radar initially for various reasons. So that had specific challenges that meant that 4th ring of protection had to be in consideration. So we'll always use the tools that are required because we know that there's no alternative that we want other than getting to zero community transmission for that long-term, sustainable, open society that we need. But test, trace and isolate, I think, can deal with variants of concern if you go broadly, if you go really rapidly, if you get great response to testing and good compliance.